It's currently 11:21 p.m. I'm just about done with the green Titleist golf ball polystyrene drawing project. The last thing I might do in the morning tomorrow, maybe make some last adjustments to the Titleist writing, which took me about an hour or so to do. Maybe not an hour, about 15 to 30 minutes of focus. Before that, I did the three. Then after I did Titleist, I did the Shamrock, starting with the stem, and then from there I did the petals, the little leaves. And then after that, I drew number one Uncle after I did the Shamrock, in the style of the Tor, the font they used for the word Tor for one picture of a Titleist golf ball. This was after I finished all of the dimples around 2 p.m. After working on finishing them pretty much from the time I got up today, I believe the time after I had breakfast, actually. I had breakfast around 9 in the morning. I had 2 peanut butter and jelly bagel sandwiches from Bagel Halves that Dad cut for me in the morning. Which was nice of him to do. And I had those sandwiches with my first cup of plain coffee. This is essentially more of the spaghetti and meatballs that Grandma made and gave to Dad the other day. But Dad also cooked some chicken. As it was a day past its best by date. Cut some of it up and added it to this. I recall having the usual 2 to 3 cups of plain coffee, roughly from 9 in the morning to about noon, according to my best recollection. And then after I finished all the dimples, all the small circles meant to represent the dimples of a golf ball. Pretty much finished the dimples. I recall throughout the rest of the day and the rest of my working on this project, either deciding there was too much empty space somewhere and deciding to squeeze in an extra dimple, or deciding to touch up a dimple because it seemed either a little too faded in part or in whole part to me for my taste. At least compared to other dimples. Around 2:15 p.m., I decided to have a phenomenal bobble chicken flavor with one of these. After I did that, I recall around 3:30 p.m. getting ready for an open interview at a transportation recruitment event in order to interview for a position as a bus attendant. Mom drove me there. It was a relatively short drive from Dad's place to where the transportation center was. From what I recall, it seemed to be a brick building of sorts. Though upon coming up there, while driving me there, Mom mistook a nearby fire department. A fire department that was right next to the building itself as the place. But upon looking again, she realized that was not the case, and it didn't cause any delay in getting there. We got around 4:30 p.m. if I recall. Mom came around for... Mom picked me up around 4:15 p.m. While coming in, I got to briefly see my old principal. He said hi to me, waved to me, kind of. I said hi back. Something to that effect. I recall we did a handshake. And I also shook hands with the two men who interviewed me. After I filled in the sign-in sheet, my entry on the log, the paper log, on the sign-in sheet with the grid system. After that, I came to another division of that whole conference room. A whole nother section that was deeper into the conference room, and it was where the open interviews were being done. Thankfully, it turned out I didn't really need a physical resume or anything like that. It was pretty casual. For the open interview questionnaire, I just had to write my name, phone number, and email address. And then they filled out the questions based off of questions they asked me and my responses. I talked about me going to college, some things I did in college, how I like to draw on polystyrene, and past work I've done. The only official one of which was one of the things I did in college. I forgot to put my phone on vibrate twice, but I quickly swiped ignore on both calls, and it was no big deal. I still did very well. I wasn't really nervous, as I figure the worst thing that can happen, worst come to worst, I can just apply for another job. I was just open and honest about myself. At one point showing them the Lady Mechanica drawing I did. As I felt that one was appropriate while still showing what I can do with polystyrene and Sharpie markers. At points I was a little bit nervous since I did the open interview without any planning, no thinking beforehand of what my responses to the questions would be, but I still did pretty well. Very well, I was told. On the way back from where the open interview was, the transportation center, back to Dad's place, and Mom and I went to a relatively nearby Wendy's, since we still had some coupons left. In Mom's car, Though this time around I only used one coupon, and that was to get a free any size fry with any purchase. The purchase was a chicken pretzel bacon pub sandwich, and for the free any size fry I got a large fry. I had that around 5:15 p.m. And ever since that, I've just been working on finishing the green Titleist golf ball polished green drawing project, although now I'm going to go to bed, and then in the morning I'll do the last touch-ups for it, and then timestamp it. The two guys who conducted the open interview with me, one of them was a former driver, the other a former attendant. They were now supervisors, and they enjoyed their previous jobs, from what I was told after I asked about it. If I do get a position as a bus attendant, I'll be sure to do my best with it.